Munir, a virologist at Lancaster University. Muhammad, always a pleasure to have you on the programme. Do you understand the concerns about the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine?
Well, Adnan, the matter of the fact is that the AstraZeneca vaccine, like other 3 vaccines that are being rolled out in the EU, has been vaccinated on to thousands of people. And here in the UK, we have 23 million people already been vaccinated, and 30 out of the 101 are already immunized using first or 2 doses of this vaccine. We haven't seen much of such complication or the side effects. Well, one thing is true that the batch of the vaccine that's been used in the UK is not the same as it has been used in other EU countries. So there could particularly be, something in that particular batch that could be some of concern. But as such, the vaccine itself has not any concerns as per my understanding.
It could just be an issue of countries wanting to be overly cautious, and you can't blame them for that. A lot of people are having a go at EU countries for their reluctance to use the Oxford AstraZeneca, and yet the United States and Canada, the last I saw, they hadn't approved it yet. Is there any way that patients should be allowed to choose, if they can, which vaccination they have, or is that just getting into territory that is impossible?
Well, this is really important to understand that, well, we have a procedure in place. For example, if you remember, when this vaccine, the AstraZeneca vaccine, was being trialed into phase 3, it's been paused for 2 times for safety concerns, and then it's been resumed because independent panel sat onto the data and analyzed whether there is any link or not. The same procedure will be followed here as a precautionary note, and it would be analyzed after 14 days or so. Every vaccine campaign would be resumed. But this also gives an assurance that there is a proper procedure to follow, and until it is not assured that there is no associated link, it will not be resumed. However, on a precautionary note, I think I fully understand that it is the right approach to go for. But at this moment, we don't really have many choices out of the vaccine, and supply of the vaccine is really a concern at the moment. So I don't think that we are at the stage where the patient or people would have the choice to make. But I think we need more vaccines before we reach to the stage where we have enough supply and people would have a choice to make.
OK, so we wanted to get you specifically on to talk about vaccinations, about COVID-19, because you yourself have developed a rapid test to see if people have the coronavirus. And because schools here in the UK returned this week, and we have millions of students potentially picking up the coronavirus at school and then taking it back home, testing has become critical. Tell us about the rapid lateral flow tests that British school children are having and how yours might fit into this equation.
Well, thank you very much for asking this one. I mean, one thing is true. I mean, we are blessed that our children are not severely impacted by this COVID-19 pandemic, but at the same time, they do contribute into the spread of infection. And we have surveys which indicates that children who are, the families who have children and been to the school are 3 times more likely to contract the infection compared to the families that don't have children going to the school. So certainly there is an associated link. There has relatively little been done to really safeguard the schools for the children to come back, and we haven't really learned throughout the pandemic. The only thing at the moment, the change has been is to provide the tests, lateral flow devices, which are relatively quick to do to the families and to the children to be tested twice in a week. But really to say that those lateral flow devices are not made for these purposes and those are not sensitive enough to pick up the infection. Those LFDs are made if 1 in 100 people are having the infection. When the infection rate is really high, then LFDs would have an advantage, but otherwise they don't really have any advantage in the society. Our diagnostic assay that we developed over the pandemic time is very sensitive. It basically amplifies the virus and then detects it. Similar like PCR. PCR is the test that is currently being deployed in most of the healthcare settings. So if molecular test is deployed, that is the one that's going to pick the infection in the society, and that's how we're going to curtail this pandemic.
OK, Dr. Muhammad Munir, thanks so much indeed for giving up your time to talk to us. Take care.